Hello everyone, happy new moon in Virgo. Welcome to the month of September. Now, if you can already sense, September has a different sort of energy, and it's ushering in a different energy for us, as it wants us to wake up and to be very cautious. But before I get more into that, the September is a number 6 in numerology. So number 6 is the mother number. It's nurturing. It's about unconditional love. And this also reminds us, especially this time of year, we are normally, we've been working hard through the summer, through this fertile time. So this is the time that we need to make sure that yes, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done, but we need to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves first. Virgo is the ultimate healer. And this is an excellent number for this month, as it reminds us that we cannot pour from an empty cup. We have to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves. We are feeding our souls and letting our souls rest. A lot of people are tired. They're not physically tired, they're emotionally tired. And especially with everything that has been going on this year, everything that's happening in our world right now, it's hitting us in a different way than it would normally hit us. So we need to step back and we need to care for ourselves and we need to heal. There's also some more energy that's going on as all of the inner planets are aspecting the outer planets. So this is stuff that's happening within as well as in our environment. So this energy is very supportive. This moon is very supportive in holding you up and getting your back for the things that you need to work on. So before we do that, I'm going to get right into this. So one thing that we really have to learn how to do is to be conscious. And being conscious, it requires us to be physical. Now, what does that mean? That means to physically be in our mind, to physically be where I am now. For example, in my mind right now, I am focused on, providing this message to you in the most clear and simplest way that I can possibly do. So it's really pulling on us to pay attention to the now. We need to get out of the past and we need to stop looking into the future. Because if we're looking in the past and we're looking in the future, we're not really working on creating and manifesting and doing the work that we need to do in order to have that future, right? So this is where we are. It is calling us to, it's time to physically stand up. So it's time to create. It's time to create our days instead of just leaving them to the whims. We have operated on autopilot for so many years. And, a lot of us, we understand, it's time to make the donuts. It's time to make the donuts. That's autopilot. And there's so many of us that operate on autopilot that we're not living. We're not living. And we have, and this not living and not being conscious has gotten us to a place of where we are in our world. Because if we were all being conscious and we were all living from that place, would we really be talking nasty to each other? Would we really be wishing illness on other people? I mean, seriously, some of these things are just absolutely unreal that has been happening. I cannot imagine a time, I don't remember a time when, people were wishing ill will on others. I remember when the AIDS epidemic came out in the 80s. I remember this. And, even that's an illness, that's a disease that everyone gets, but people wanted to judge. And that's something that, everybody, the general consensus was that nobody wanted people to suffer. Nobody wanted people to die like that. And that's what I remember. And that's what I remember and where I was. So it may be different from where you were, but that was my experience. I was also raised in a household that, you treat others as they treat you. If, you be respectful until there's a reason for you not to be. And we have to understand that sometimes, especially when we're dealing with other people, that we may not be communicating in the clearest way. And this has been messing us up as well. And this is where Mercury is going to come in later, and we'll get more into that, because Mercury is going to be retrograding at the end of this month. And he's going to say, it's time to be fair. It's time to be fair. And I understand life is not fair, but when Mercury is in Libra, that's what he wants. So from that, we have been called to be authentic. I have mentioned that many times in the past shows about being authentic. And what does that mean? So a lot of people are like, okay, I'll be authentic, but what does that really mean? What does it mean? So authenticity is about being who you are from your core. It's about not doing what people think you should do and doing what you feel is right for you. No one can make decisions that are good for you except you. You are the one that lives your life. You are the one that makes these decisions. So therefore, you're the only one that can make decisions for your life that works out best for you. And you have to listen to your intuition over this. Is this right? Is this wrong? Listen, that's about being mindful. It's about being conscious. This means that, you're not doing the job that your dad did, your grandfather did, or whatever, meaning that you have to. Now, sure, you can do that if that's what you want to do. If you feel like, oh, this has been in my blood and this is who I am, that's you being authentic. I'm talking about what's coming from here. Maybe you don't want to be a doctor. Maybe you want to be a mechanic. It's these things that we have to look at. Maybe you have been wanting to get out and exercise or get out and take walks or many of these different things, but maybe you hear people saying, oh, this, that, and the other. How many times I can look back at my life when I was younger and I made decisions based on other people's experiences. Never worked out good for me. We always have to make decisions and follow that. If our soul, our heart, and our mind are aligned in this, and this is the best thing for us, then that's what you need to do. And it's feeling that passion of going forward and taking that step. That is what's calling you. So, and this could be this could be jobs. Yes, this could be how you live your life, the house you live in, the partner that you have. This could mean totally, just around the whole issues there. So several years ago, I got a feeling of what we were told is right was actually wrong. And what we were told was wrong is actually right. And I was talking to this about one of my friends, and she says, it's funny you said that, because I was talking to my son, and he was like, he felt that too. He's like, I think everything is vice versa. I think that those things that we were taught were evil, actually not, and those things that we were taught that were good are actually not good for us. So now when we're looking at the world and seeing what's going on, we can see where this is coming about. We can see where this is happening. We can see where everything looks upside down. And I also don't want to forget here, but this is also talking about the beliefs that you have been programmed to believe, the thoughts, ideas. I mean, look, when we come into this world, we are, day one, we are programmed. We are being programmed day one. And many of us grow up in families to where we are programmed to believe a certain way, to act a certain way, and so forth. So all of this, the happenings and this energy, and I can take this back to 2019. There was this whole energy of being authentic, this whole energy of going through that. So as we look at our world, we can, it's very evident. There's a lot of things that are really becoming clear in our world right now. And unfortunately, because we are humans, it does take something radical to make us change. We are creatures of habit. We love our comfort zones. We love our couches and our blankies and, our comfort food. And we have that luxury because it is a luxury. Because many people around this world do not have that. So we like to, be in our house clothes and relaxed. That's what we like. And it normally takes something that pushes us out of that, something radical that shocks us into changing, saying, you know what, this ain't working anymore. We got to do something. And it's shaking us to wake us up. Now look, we're all human. We're all human. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to do things that aren't, all the time the perfect thing to do. And that's okay because we're learning. We're spiritual beings having this human experience. And that's what you have to realize. You are spiritual, yes. Yes, but you are uniquely human, and you have these experiences that you must go through, you must grow through. So we are essentially forced to change. What I say is that when we get tired of constantly knocking, banging our head up against the cement wall, when we get tired of that pain, when we get tired of, banging the head, we'll quit. And only then will you do something about it. So you have to make that decision. It requires a lot of commitment to yourself. So, and we have to really, really understand that we are the only ones that can change things in our lives. We are the only ones that can make that decision. So now we are in Virgo. This is the ultimate healer. And the thing about our world is it is one of polarity, meaning in order to heal, you must be willing to kill. That's not as grim as it sounds, not always. Let's say transform. Okay? To be a healer is about transforming. And this is learning to be a true creator. And this is about learning alchemy. So in order to be able to manifest in your life and to do this creation, and I see this all the time, I see this all online, it's new moon, it's time to manifest, you know, do your manifestation ritual, all this kind of stuff. That's wonderful. But, you know, in doing so, do you know what you want? Do you really know what you want? Have you been true enough to yourself? Have you been authentic enough to yourself to truly know what you want? Because there's a lot of people that really think they know what they want, but they don't. I grew up with, you better be careful what you ask for because you just might get it. And you might not like it. So we have to decide what it is we want, where. And this is what this new moon does. It pulls us inside, and it's calling on that nurturer to come in and nurture yourself. Okay, if you're not doing good, why are you not doing good? If you are in pain, why are you in pain? We want to take a pill and we want to just, you know, get by it, but that is not how this path is done. And that's why I always say the occult path is not for everyone, because it requires self-responsibility. It requires one doing their own work. It requires academics. It requires a lot of diving into some deep places that you may have been told are completely wrong. So, you know, we have Hollywood, and Hollywood gives us this beautiful illusion of what magic is supposed to be. We see Charmed, and even the new Charm that is out. I mean, you know, these are fantastical things. I'm not, you know, saying don't watch it. I'm not talking negative at all. I'm just saying that we need to understand that that is an illusion. That is an illusion. And we can go on to say things about how all of the occult stuff is just out on mainstream, which is good and bad, because it's good that some people get to find this path that's home, that feels home, and they finally feel like they have answers to questions that they've had for many years. And this is the wonderful path for them. But then there are some who come here and they don't really understand nor respect the ways. And this is when we have problems. That's why I always say, when you are beginning a path, it's always good to get under the wing of someone experienced. When you're learning martial arts, that's what you do. Well, you know what? The craft is the craft. It is an art. I love that meme I posted the other day of, you know, give a witch a spell and she can do a spell, but teach her the craft and she will do magic, or he or she will do magic. And that's the difference. So we are in earth signs right now. Virgo is an earth sign, and we are being called to the carpet to look at reality. There's a lot of illusions that are floating out into our world right now. There's a lot of them, because you know what? These have been, you know, at some point, in some way, because we don't understand what cause and effect is, these are things that has been called out from people. If we do not understand cause and effect, I see people all the time say, I don't believe in the threefold law. Okay. Do you believe in the Hermetic principles? Do you believe in the universal principles? Do you believe in cause and effect? Because if you don't believe in that, then you don't believe in your own magic. I'll tell you what my high priestess always said, but basically, if you eat, you're going to poop. That's it. So everyone is now understanding that everything is energy. Okay? Everything is energy. Is it? Are you living your life like everything is energy? Are you speaking to others like everything is energy? Are you speaking to yourself, your mind talk, your mentalness, the stuff that you say to yourself? Are you being mindful at that? So, the concepts that were once fully understood by the learned. And what is the learned? The learned is the educated. So the educated ones, that was very prudent, and we're starting to see that knowledge come back again. We're starting to see science prove that this is really how it goes. Now, yes, I do know that many people were taught that everything is energy in school. That's one of the things that I learned in school as well. Because, at that time, though, we were young. We didn't really fully grasp that. But once we have experienced life a little bit, once we have walked on this road, we start understanding the concepts. So once we tap in to this ancient knowledge, we start seeing a lot of things that are shifting. The learned, or the educated ones, they knew about these concepts many, many years ago. And this was something that was understood. This was something that was realized and practiced every day until the Catholic Church began their crusade to take over the world. And that is something that, you really need to understand, especially if you are new on this path. Learn your history. Learn why people are where they are today. Truly learn. Don't just go by what so-and-so said. Go dig, go find. We are now out of the age of Pisces, and we are in that beginning stage of Aquarius. So we have just entered this age of the water bearer. And when you think of the water bearer, he's pouring water. Well, water is a conduit of information. This is representing information. Water being poured out of the bucket onto the world. So this is about awakening to a higher understanding. We are now standing in the foyer of the age of Aquarius, and we are looking around, and our eyes are wide open, and it's a little scary because this is new territory for us. But this is an opportunity. This is the Fool. This is the major arcana of the tarot. And that's what we do. We have a tree of life. Once we get to the top, there is another, and it goes on. It goes on. But the number one thing that we need to do is to be present. We need to be in the now, and we need to understand what is our priorities. It's time to focus on those. What are your priorities? It's time for mindfulness, connecting to our heart chakra. It is time we move forward and not just bursting forward like, just out of the starting line and trying to get to the finish line. No, this is about consciously going forward. The only way, this is the only way we will move into that higher energy until evolution is moving forward consciously. Thinking, not just, oh, it's happening, let's go do it. You cannot do that. Let things process. I was given the most wonderful piece of information by an elder in the community. And she said that just because someone is asking you a question at that time doesn't mean you have to give them an answer. Maybe it is one you have to think about. It's okay to sit there and say, well, you know, that's a good point. Let me think about that. I'll get back to you. Let me think about that. It's okay to do that. It's okay. So we are in this Aquarian age and focused. We're looking forward to that future. We are wanting to step up to those higher energies, and we're wanting evolution. So here we are at the new moon. The new moon will be today, September the 6th, 2021. Let me see what time it will be. It will be at 8:52 p.m. Eastern Time. That is 1:52 a.m. Universal Time. And it will be at 14 degrees of Virgo. So, every one of our personal planets, which is our inner planets, is interacting with the outer planets. So, developments are going to begin. This is a rare circumstance. This is rare. It does happen, but it's rare. And this is stating that there will be information that will shock us. We will find out things that will shock us. There will be happenings that will shock us. And it will shake us too, because it's about change. Uranus is still retrograde in Taurus, and they're having a communication too. The sun and the moon are having a communication with Uranus at this time too. So, you know, Uranus, he wants change, and he's like, you know what? I gave you a second to change. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these things happen in order for you to change. Because if you can't do it for yourself, then I'll help you out. That's the wonderful, wonderful gift of Uranus. And we are going to see more unveiling of things. We're going to find out I like to say the curtain is still being pulled apart. The sun and the moon are coming together, and this is masculine and feminine energy. This is the yin and the yang, and this is when masculine and feminine energy come together. This is when creation happens. So this is new birth, not rebirth. This is a new birth. It's new intention. This is the anima and the animus coming together. New worlds created. So here we need to, just as our priorities this month are, the charts this month are telling us the whole month about looking at our priorities. And this moon says, you know what? What do you need to heal? Healing comes in many ways. And it's not just healing an actual wound. It's healing a thought. It's healing a habit. Beliefs, many things. What needs to be done differently. So it's our time to, the new moon is when we come inside, right? It's our dark time of the month. We come inside and we are looking at all of these things that we have and what we have accomplished so far this year. And we're sitting here and we're like, okay, there are some things that just aren't working anymore. There are some things that need to be fixed. There are some things that are just really outdated, and we really got to get rid of those. We need to think of what is good for us in present day. Because remember, Aquarius may be the, long term, but Virgo is about what can I do right now in order to heal this? What can I do right now that I can change things? What can we do right now to to change the course, to differently. And this change is so supported in our chart. Also, this is about being adaptable, being able to adjust to this flow and learning to, okay, I can't go this way and I can't do that way, but how can I get past this, or how can I move on? How can I get through this in a different way? Am I going to have to squeeze through the rocks in the middle of the mountain to get over it? Am I going to have to climb over it? Am I going to have to get in the river and swim through the current to get around it? This is what we have to think about. How can you move forward better? And this is going to require being mindful. This is going to be requiring you to be conscious and present in the moment. The new moon is going to be focusing on our body because it's in the earth sign. Earth sign represents our physicalness. So it's about healing our bodies. Many of us have started eating healthier. We have started growing our own gardens. We are taking our health into our hands and saying no, because I'm going to tell you something. No one can care for your body the way that you can if you are listening to it. You have to listen to your body. You have to learn to connect with your body. So, it's concentrating on the health. It's concentrating on nourishment. It's concentrating on that healing of getting it fixed. The earth energy is really going to be felt this week. And this is the time our outer environment is going to be supporting our personal change. And there's a lot of breakthrough energy this month. That's going to be wonderful. And it's setting us up. It's setting us free. It's setting us up to be able to make those decisions, to set ourselves free and to break through it, we may begin a new path. This is it's time for new. So again, we are focused on what matters to you, what is important to you, what is valued, what do you. The Virgo new moon will be tonight at 8:52 p.m. That's September the 6th, 2021. And that is 1:52 a.m. Universal Time at 14 degrees Virgo. This is the number 6, and 6 is, like I stated before, is unconditional love, is nurturing, nourishment. It's helpful, it's receptive, it's also about producing as well. And Virgo is about harmony, and it's about love and service. So this moon is going to have us looking at what sustains us again. So we are embracing change like never before. And here is Uranus in 14 degrees of Taurus. Is going to be trining with the sun and moon, this new moon, in 14 degrees Virgo. Now, the number 14 is associated with the scribe. And this is about info, media, data. So it is concentrating on that area as well. So we could be starting a set of new values. And Uranus likes to shock us. So it brings something that says, you know what, this isn't working. So, this is like turning a new leaf, starting a new path. This is like doing a 180, okay? And we are being pushed to create new or look for new inventive ways to make progress. So since the middle of July, this energy has really been brewing. And this is pretty much the energy of just take a gamble on life. our freedom code has been activated, and that represents to me the Fool in the tarot deck. The Fool is about the new beginning. It's about the new journey. And every time you get, at the top of one tree of life, there's another one that you have to go through. So that is really reminding us of that it's time. It's an ending of one thing. It's a beginning of another. It's time for us to take a new path, to make different decisions, to really and that's the energy of the new moon. It's about going inside and saying, okay, I've got this works, this doesn't, what we need to go forward with and make better. Now, this is also tapping us into, like I stated, data. It's getting data in different ways, like electronic ways, a higher mind kind of energy. Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and this is Mercury's thoughts. This is about being conscious. This is a new experience, leaving comfort zones, helping others. It's learning how to listen to your intuition, and it will be heightened during this moon and all through this week. The intuition will be heightened. You could see this is about an increase in self-confidence, because when you are living from your soul, when you are, walking that soul path and you're living authentically, it's going to make you more confident. Because again, this is an awakening. This is a new birth. So be flexible. Again, adaptability. And even though we have 5 planets and earth signs, this is going to ground us so we can see, listen, and feel the best path for us. This moon is going to be highlighting health and healing, info, wisdom, and it is one of, just feeling like you're being released, just free, like something is off of you. Also, Pluto is going to have a say as well in this new moon. Pluto is retrograde Capricorn, and he will also be trining, and trining is like a harmonic energy. So he's having this warm conversation with the new moon and the sun, and he's just been saying, look, I just want you to connect to your soul. You need to connect to what truly matters, which is your soul, and what really matters to you. It's time for you to take your power back. It's time for you to stop giving yourself away to various different things. Stop selling yourself short. Get your power back. This is going to be highlighted in some relationships as well, but we'll talk about that in just a minute. And it's about understanding who you really are and in sharing that. So it's about a passion. It's transforming energy and what feels right to you and understanding who you really are. Now that is, oh my goodness. One thing that many of us were taught is that you need to get a 9-to-5, you need to go, and you need that false sense of security, you need that, you need the health insurance, you need all that, right? And many of us, we got lost in listening to other people and judging our life from their experience, and I have fallen prey to that. I feel that many times that happens. Many times when we're younger, there's some adults that can turn us away from things that are in our path because they haven't had such luck with it. Well, maybe that's not their path, So we really need to understand and tap into what feels right for ourselves, what brings us passion. Things are happening quickly this week. It's going to be like a lightning strike because Uranus is in with this trine. We're really going to be having to focus on what is valuable to us. We need to find solutions to problems. It's time to move forward. It's time to fix things. This is healing energy. And this is a shift in energy that's going to be putting us on a different and a new course. It's going to tap into what has been working for us is no longer working for us. Stuff that we've been trying to build, we're going to reap some of that benefit, but it's not going to be the way that you expect. Also, it's going to tap on making money because earth signs represent money as well. And it's about how we spend our money as well. And also, what are we achieving? We're going to want to really invest in things that are heart and soul. And that is what I try to, that's what I look for. And I know that I look for that, and I want to give that to all. My things, that everything that I do it has my heart and my soul and my mind into it, because I had to create it, and it is my passion, and this is just who I am. I can't run from that, and I've tried to run from who I am many years ago, and you can't. You're miserable if you do not live that part of your higher expression. This newness is actually perfect for us. This is perfect energy right now. It has been on our way, for our homes and for our work. And it's not going to, we're really going to be looking at what can I handle? And that's Virgo. Virgo is very, very practical. And Virgo is going to make you say, okay, all right, this needs to change. I get it. What can I handle? This energy is going to help us grow. There's been a lot of endings with things here lately, and there's a lot of physical changing. And this is calling us to the carpet to be very responsible for ourselves. And a part of being responsible for ourselves is creating our future. And the only way that we can create a future that it would be of the highest good is by doing so consciously. So Virgo, again, is very practical, and Virgo is saying, okay, it's going to transform something that can be done now. It's going to make the changes now. It's like, okay, I understand that's the long-term goal, but let's first look at right now in front of us. What can we do now? No matter how small the step is, no matter, it doesn't matter, because again, practical, we have to look at practicality. We have to get back to practicalness, because again, we get too lost in that Neptunian dreamy waters of Pisces. We've been getting too lost in that. We need to bring back these earth signs are grounding us. The air is trying to educate us and is trying to have us tap into what is we are responsible for, what is something practical that we can do right now, that you can work on your life to make things better. And again, this is small. It can be one simple thing. It could be, okay, you're going to add meditating 5 minutes every day to your life. And those 5 minutes will help you, trust me. So, Capricorn is more those long-term goals, okay? But Virgo is all about one step at a time. Again, practicality. We got to think about practicality. One step at a time. Okay, I know I want to get there. There is my goal. But what little steps can I make now to work my way there? Because again, it's all about what we can handle. We don't want to overwhelm ourselves, because when we overwhelm ourselves, we tend to back off and just fall into those bad habits that we had. And this is going to be, again, things that it's about our daily lives, about enriching that. Venus is at 25 degrees Libra. And this energy here is going to be through September, October, and early November. Venus is squaring Pluto in Capricorn. Now, squaring is that when you're coming, you got something to talk about. It's like we need to talk. So this is touching on relationships, and this is all relationships, romantic, business, otherwise. And again, here we go. We need to make sure that we're not giving our power away. We get so drawn into those manipulative ways of, exerting ourselves when we don't need to. Giving other people power, giving other people authority over us when we know what's good for us. We know what's bad for us. This is about taking our power back. Saying, no, you're not going to do that. You are deeply understanding what you want and don't want in relationships. I think this hard time that we have had has really made us look at a lot of things about valuing what we truly value in our life, what we value about ourselves in relationships. Libra wants fairness, but again, Pluto is like, a fair is something you go to and buy cotton candy and ride rides. Pluto says it's deeper. It's deeper than that. It's deeper than fairness. It's on a deep soul level. And I would like to say it's going to be, smooth sailing, but, we are going to come up on challenges. And, again, but it's about listening, being conscious. These changes, be conscious. You will be able to work through them. We will be able to work through them. So there's a lot of conversations going on. It's very much needed as well. And that's Virgo, and that's Libra's favorite thing is conversating. It's about, knowledge as well. So with this, Mercury right now is at 10 degrees Libra, and will also be trining Saturn retrograde in Uranus at 7 degrees. It is it's not a hard trine, it's very soft. So again, they're having a nice little mutual conversation here. And they're also having a trine with the North Node that is 5 degrees Gemini. This is the second air grand trine in a row. A grand trine is 3 signs that are communicating with each other that are in air or in the same sign. So Mercury has begun conversating with Saturn. And Saturn, this is in Aquarius. That's not a happy place for Saturn in Aquarius, because Saturn is about authority. It's about, commitments. And Aquarius is about gathering information. So the North Node says that we need to keep these conversations happening. North Node is in Gemini, so these conversations have to happen. Our mindset needs to shift, and it has. We are looking back at our past experiences, and we see that this shift, it has to happen. This shift has to change, and we are really being supported at communication. It's time. Excuse me. It is time to talk about the golden elephant in the room. It is time. Relationship themes. There's some relationships out there that you've been having trouble with. It's about having them work out. And we are also needing to apply to our life what we have learned. There's so many people who talk about energy. And, the next thing you know, they're posting something that just directly goes against what they just posted. It's just, or said, or written, what have you. So one of the biggest things that I will always remember is about being true to thyself. Be true to yourself. It was on the top of the door of the temple of Delphi for a reason. And we may need to evaluate a few things in our life. We may need to make decisions that we need to make, because we're looking at what we value. What is good for us? What is good for our highest good? Like I said, these are going to be some challenging times, but we need to do what we need to do in order to go forward in a higher potential. We need to step up, so to speak. We need to trust in ourselves. So Neptune in Pisces is going to be in opposition to Mars and the Sun. And this is going to remind us to look at the bigger picture as well. Some things cannot be taken care of immediately. We know that. Some things can't happen overnight. We completely understand that. And that is why we have Virgo here that's saying one step at a time. So also, Venus is also talking to Jupiter, and Jupiter is reminding us that we do have choices. We do have choices. We don't have to just take whatever comes our way. We do have choices. And even if it isn't exactly what we thought that it might be, we need to remain open to this, because this is, this energy is an open energy. It's a feminine energy. It's about receiving. So we need to be open to receive, trust in ourselves, and take those next steps that are needed. Be proud of who you are. Be proud of what you've come through. There's a lot of developments that are happening here. It's just like, yes, I did do that. Yes, I did get through that. I have. And you feel this shift within you. This whole COVID and pandemic thing that we have had in our world has really shown us different things. And it has really brought out, and you can see the people where it brings out that fear and that hidden and what needs to be healed. You can see that. It's really, this shift of energy is absolutely amazing. And I wish that I could just convey to you exactly what I'm feeling about this, because it's just like this moment we're standing there and we're seeing everything and we're like, oh my goodness. It's a shift. It's a shift. And we really have to be mindful right now about how we communicate. This is very important, how you communicate. You ever heard, words are so important. You ever heard the term a wordsmith? Well, So there's some of those who like to write things in order to bend it into manipulate the sentences and the words to have them, or to have you believe in the way they believe, or coerce you into a direction. So be careful of that. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. I don't know why that is so hard for people to understand. Maybe this is something that I need to work on. If I'm seeing this, okay, so let me work on my communication. And that is something that I will be working on this new moon, because I feel that is something that I do need to work on. I am communicating to you now. I am a teacher, so I need to work on that in a better way. And I also want to say something out of all this. Everybody talks about friends, and they talk about, all of these different things about relationships. So if you want a good friend, you need to be a good friend. And if you want to be in a good relationship and healthy relationship, well, then you need to be that too. You need to be that too. So that is all for this week's astrology. And this is from September the 6th through the 12th. And I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful new moon. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask me. I will help you as much as I can. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. That is very important, and that means that you will be able to see my videos more. Also, if you hit that bell, you will be alerted when I make a new video. I do appreciate your time. Again, many blessings to you all, and I'll see you all next week.